Hey guys, Julie here. Jumping on to do a little painting this morning, maybe afternoon. I'm not sure what time it is. But anyways, I am coming on here, and I know it's still a little bit early for Christmas, but I wanted to paint this beautiful, beautiful Mary and Joseph. This is a design that I worked on last year for Christmas for Bible journaling, and actually, I want to see, this is the entry that I did last year for it, so you can kind of see what it looks like in a Bible, and then also doing this on canvas. I've actually been asked to teach this, so I'm super excited, but I figured since I'd be painting, I might as well jump on here and see how you guys are doing and let you tag along a little bit. But let me know what you think about this design. And I'm specifically painting it on a black canvas. Painting on a black canvas is actually one of my absolute favorites. You just get so much cool texture and some depth that you just don't get when you paint directly on a white canvas. And so that's why I'm doing this on a black canvas. I want this to kind of feel a little rustic, a little ambiguous, if you will. So that's why I'm doing this on a black canvas. I have this dark blue. I want it to kind of be like a midnight kind of color. So we'll see what it looks like once it dries. Another fun thing about painting on a black canvas is that as it dries, the colors kind of mellow out a little bit. You'll notice as my colors dry, they're not going to be so much in your face. And once again, just kind of gives it that muted, beautiful kind of feel. And that's what I want this painting to feel like. So that's the color scheme I'm using. Like I said, I just love the simplicity of this design because it's just that beautiful moment kind of captured with Mary and Joseph traveling. She's pregnant on the donkey, all the uncertainties. You know, in that moment, how scary must it have been for Mary and Joseph. But God knew what was going to happen the next day. And he knew how the story would all play out. And I think a lot of time for us, like, we get caught up in the moment and the uncertainty and get scared. But, you know, God's in our tomorrow. He already knows what's going to happen. And so just lean in to your faith if you're walking through something kind of uncertain. Because God already knows what's going on. Just like he did on this eventful night when Jesus was born. And I'm just, like I said, using acrylic on a black canvas. And truth be told, this was actually one of my canvases that I'd already painted on. And I wanted to recycle it. So this is actually a really great way to recycle canvases too. So if you paint quite a bit like I do, and you have some either projects that were just like a rough draft, or maybe it just didn't come out quite the way you wanted it to, painting on a black canvas is, like I said, one of my favorite ways to kind of reuse, I guess, a canvas. But like I said, I just also love the depth and the texture that it gives. I'm gonna have a gray donkey. And like I said, here in just a second, the gray will probably be the coolest, one of the coolest textures, with that black canvas kind of poking through. And like I said, it just kind of lends itself to that really pretty kind of rustic, almost like a farmhouse kind of look. Maybe I want this to feel like it's been a painting that's been in your family for generations. donkey ears. We have a herd of mules and horses that kind of live on the other side of our mountain, and we'll sometimes go walking by their pasture, and it's so fun to see all those big old ears poking up. If you don't know, a mule is a crossbreed equine between a horse and a donkey, so they usually have the big donkey ears. Just like that. Let's get some dark brown. Make a little halter brown. Right there in the center. I'm going to mix my dark brown and then this kind of tan color that I used for the skin, just to make kind of like a medium brown for the walking stuff. I want it to be a little bit different than that dark brown of the kind of like leather looking rain. So I just mix the dark brown and that kind of tan color just to make kind of like an in-between color. Just so that way you can easily tell the difference between the walking stick, his skin, the skin tones, and then, like I said, that dark brown for the reins, like the, I guess reins. I'm getting a little bit of blue down here. My blue is still wet. I'll let that dry and then come back to it. All right, now we can start painting in all the fabrics. And like I said, I just kind of picked some different colors that I like. I kind of like this green, like earth tones, burgundies and browns and tans and greens, some blues. I have a really pretty turquoise I might use. But isn't it fun as it dries? You can see the texture, like I said, in the background. Probably easiest to see there in the donkey as it dries. But like I said, it just adds this really beautiful kind of texture, I guess is the best word I can come up with. I know that sounds kind of silly, but that's like the best analogy I can think of. And I'm going to make like a reddish purple color, like a burgundy. And I'm just going to use a little bit of red, a little bit of dark blue. And red and blue make purple. I'm going to add just a tiny touch of white to kind of lighten it up. Just kind of color mix in on the fly here. That's pretty blue. I want more red. of like a burgundy, purplish color. I like this. Almost like a raisin kind of color, I guess. And kind of another nice reason why I'm doing this is I'm not trying to make it look like red and green for Christmas, but because this is the nativity, I'll probably keep some red and greenish tones. So you see on my like light green down here, she's kind of in some like raisin, kind of purplish red colors. I'll probably add maybe like some olive green to Joseph, just so that way, like I said, it's not screaming in your face like Christmas colors, but just kind of those familiar tones. I have to do the dark brown of the hair. Give both Mary and Joseph some brown hair. Let's see what other colors I can make. I'm going to take a little bit of this bright green and mix it with some browns just to make it more of like a olive green. Or like a, just some earth tones. Like I said, I want to keep these all kind of within the same family, like earth kind of tans and browns, but I also want to make it grab another green. I have a darker one that I want to use. This little design makes me so happy. Like I said, it's just simple and sweet, and just like I said, this beautiful kind of moment captured in time with Mary and Joseph. I just think it's so lovely. This is a little bit darker green, and I still mix the browns with it to kind of give it, like I said, that Christmas feel. I think I might change the color of the blanket now that I have that in there. It kind of reads a little too close to my color scheme for Joseph, so I think I might change that up. I'll just give him a different colored saddle blanket. actually do his like under tunic, like a yellow color. I think I might make that saddle blanket purple, now that I think of it. A little bit of yellow. Just for this middle section. And once again, I kind of like that rustic streaky look. So as I'm painting, I'm specifically trying to make it, like I said, have texture in it, just a little uneven. The opposite of perfection. If you had a little too much coffee and your hands wiggly or whatever, this is a great style for that because it doesn't all have to be perfect, and actually better if it's not. Right there. Okay, perfect. Like I said, I'm gonna redo. Ooh, dang it! Get over there, brush. I'm gonna redo the saddle blankets on the donkey in purple. I just think that'll kind of set it off a little nicer. I don't mind the green, but I wanted to have Josephine green. And as long as my green is dry, I can paint right on top of it. I'm gonna let that dry. I might add some touch-ups here and there. I think I'm actually gonna put a star in the sky as well. I think that'll look really pretty, and it'll kind of pull some of the yellow of Joseph's tunic. This just is so cute. I love this. This design makes me happy. I'm gonna add a little more kind of red highlights to Mary. And you'll see how muted these colors get as it dries, and that's why I'm going back and adding touches here and there, because as it dries you might start to get some more, like I said, kind of muted tones. Oh my gosh, this makes me so happy. It's so cute. Okay, let me move some of this stuff out of the way so I don't make a big old mess, because y'all know me, I'm great at making messes. Put my colors away, and then I'm going to grab some black to outline that later. And then, like I said, I want to add a star. All right. Got my gold. And a little bit of black paint. And you could definitely do the outlining with a pen, like a paint pen, but I'm just going to kind of come in here and do this kind of quickly with a little paintbrush. All right. I'm just going to go over the outline that was originally in white with black, and once again, this is kind of like a rustic style, so your edges don't need to be perfectly crisp and pristine. It's actually kind of nice when they're not, because like I said, it just kind of lends to that style. And because I'm right-handed, you'll notice that I'm kind of doing my outlining from left to right. And that's strategic. That's so I don't drag my hand through the wet paint. So as you are painting, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed, when it comes to doing some of the details like I'm doing, you may want to be strategic on where you start and where you stop. Big old donkey ears. I've grown up with horses, and you can kind of always tell where they're paying attention in the direction of their ears. So if their ears are like forward, that means they're listening to you. You know, if they're pinned back, it means they're mad. There's a lot of things, but I just like this because the way that the donkey's ears, I almost imagine that Joseph's like talking to Mary, and the donkey's like, "What are you guys talking about?" I'm trying to pay attention and listening. And I don't know if you guys can see this from my phone, but my lines are not perfect. I'm actually kind of intentionally kind of making them a little bit wobbly. Because like I said, that's kind of the vibe, the look of this style anyways. The perfection is in the imperfection. I know it sounds silly, but that's one of the reasons why I love this style so much. Mary's pregnant belly where little baby Jesus is. Little kind of design. Kind of in the blanket. Doing the outline is when most people start like freaking out, and I'm like, just don't worry about it. Like I said, there's a lot of tricks and tips that, like if your hand's a little shaky, use your pinky as like a little kickstand to, you know, steady your hand. And there's a lot of little things that you can use. And like I said, even using a paint marker instead of a paintbrush. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate and talk. You know, there's little things, because I love my coffee. I drink probably way too much of it. And so a lot of times my hand will get kind of shaky too. So just be mindful of that. And like I said, if you're having issues, just either prop your finger on top of your canvas. Make sure your canvas is dry, because I've done that too, and it's not good if your canvas is wet and you stick your finger in wet paint. But there are definitely tricks and tips to help. must be really concentrating because I'm awfully quiet. I don't know, maybe that's a good thing. Oh, dang it. Remember I said don't stick your finger in wet paint like I just did right there? And the other thing I love about this black outline is it just kind of cleans up any little wobbly lines. Honestly, the black outline is one of my favorite steps because it just kind of brings everything together. All right, Mary and Joseph. Like I said, I want to add a star to really make it read. I'm going to place on my plate for clean paint. All right. So one of my favorite tricks is to take one of these flat brushes, or they call them a wash sometimes, and then they have this skinny edge. It looks kind of square, but I'll just take this edge and run it through some paint. And when I get ready to do my star, I'm going to do it right here. I just do one line. So it's almost like I stamp it on versus like paint it. So I do like a plus sign. Just like that. And then do an X. Just like that. And then if you want, you can even take the end of your paintbrush and dip it and put just like a bright dot in the center. And I think I'm going to put a few other dots, not to make them look like the big star like that, but just to kind of have it read as like nighttime. And using the back of my paintbrush is one of my favorite tricks for getting either stars or falling snow. Anytime you just need a dot, your paintbrush handle will do that awesomely. Like I said, I just love the simplicity of this. And then, like I said, when you paint it on a black canvas, it just adds a little bit of depth. And I think I'm going to call it done, guys. Let me know what you think.